Our next guest had the honor of beating me on RuPaul's Secret Celebrity Drag Race. And I told her, I said, hey, if that happens, you have to come on the show. She kept her promise. Please welcome from her home, Miss Vanessa Williams.
Hey,
Vanessa!
girl. How you
Hi.
doing,
Home
ladies?
group.
Hey, Lonnie.
Hi,
Hey, Vanessa!
Vanessa. Hi.
Flawless.
So good to see you all.
So we have to ask, how are you doing quarantined by yourself? Are you by yourself?
I've got my two Great Danes behind me, so forgive me if somebody comes to the door with a FedEx package or the phone rings. And my mom lives next door, which has
Okay.
been fantastic as I go over and give her snacks and she gives me snacks and she saves a crossword puzzle for me, which I do every day. And my husband goes to work, so I don't see him at all.
Sounds like a really nice vacation spot
Yeah.
there.
It is. I got a lot
I'm
of
doing
cleaning
great.
done during the day. It's all good.
And you look
Please.
absolutely stunning.
Well, I've got natural light. I've got a bounce from my wood floor. I've got some skylights coming in here. So it actually is the perfect studio light in my right next to my piano.
Please tell us about your charity, the Trevor Project.
So when we competed, we chose a charity, and the Trevor Project was one that I chose because it specifically deals with LGBTQ youths who are thinking about suicide. So it's a direct link for individuals that really have need some direction and support to be helped by the Trevor Project. And I think it's so essential to feel like you're not part of the group, to feel isolated, to possibly be rejected by your family. It takes a lot to be different. And Trevor Project is fantastic. And I actually ended up doing my first, James Lacine, who started the Trevor Project, gave me my first gig off Broadway back in 1985. So I love James and I'm so happy to see what he's done over the years.
Wow, well, that must have made your win on RuPaul's Secret Celebrity Drag Race that much more amazing because, because you were playing for them. So I have to ask, Tammy Roman and our girl Lonnie competed against one another with you guys, and you ended up getting the top prize. And like you said, you actually won $30,000 for the Trevor Project. Tammy won $10K for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, and Lonnie won $10K for Dress for Success. Okay, we work with Lonnie all the time, but we don't ever compete with her on something like this. So how was Lonnie as a competitor?
Well, first of all, she's hilarious. So I knew that was my biggest competition right there. And she won the first challenge, which was all about changing from the antithesis of being a drag queen. It was changing into a man, and she killed it. She was hilarious.
That was easy. That was easy. I look like
it was fun. It was cute. But yeah, she was, what I loved about Lonnie, not only competing against her and her being funny and warm, but her sensitivity really blew me away. We were all kind of out of our comfort zones, and to be so raw and sensitive about where her journey was and where she was at the end of the competition really was pulled at the heartstrings, and that was what I really think that everyone took away from Lonnie's performances.
How you gonna be a beauty queen? That's what I want to know. That was a setup, Nessa.
I had to twerk though. It wasn't just beauty. I had to twerk. I had to learn choreography, my lip syncing.
If you don't make a GIF out of that, Vanessa, oh my God, that needs to be an emoji that you send to everybody. Please, I need Vanessa Williams twerking, please.
Well, that's right. Well, I did it as Dolly,
Okay.
so it's
So
hard
Vanessa,
to twerk. It's thanks.
Well, we know which competition were you more proud to win? RuPaul's Drag Race or the Miss America crown?
Oh, no, come on. 1983, I was 20 years old. I was a junior at Syracuse University. I entered on a whim and ended up creating history, and my life was changed forever. And I've just been able to keep achieving dreams, which is what it's all about. You have to be bold. You have to take chances in life, and you never know where life's going to take you. So that's where it took me at 20 years old. But I do love Ru, and I do love the competition.
Well, you were fabulous. That's the reason why I wanted to be a part of it. Let me tell you, ladies, she is a class act. She knows her thing. I was like, I saw her putting glitter on her lips. I said, put glitter on my lips. Whatever she does. What was your favorite part though of the experience, Vanessa?
Woo! Well, I think the favorite was doing the Dolly episode. I mean, the Dolly section, because I had to wear the big Dolly Parton wig and put on the boobs, which were out to there, the tiny waist, the big hip pads, and then do the classic 9 to 5, but we did 5 to 9 because it was a rusical instead of a musical. And so I just love kind of transforming into what we've grown up as Dolly, who's again an icon and larger than life. That was the most fun, but it was exhausting, wasn't it? I mean, yeah, being on the other side of I've judged twice, so being on the other side of the table is a lot easier. It was more than one day. It was all these hours that we had to compete and kind of improv. And then after that was all done, then we had to do our interviews after we'd finished doing all of our work in memorizing and doing the choreography and doing the
That's a lot.
Our challenges. It was long. It was
Cool.
long. Yeah.
Well, we want to see you in action, Vanessa. So here's a clip from RuPaul's Secret Celebrity Drag Race.
Twerking fire tonight, always trying hard to do good. Grew up poor as dirt, now I'm running Dollywood. I love all God's children, except that red-headed Hesha Jolie. I taught my way how to twerk, now all the gays love me. All the gays love me. Twerking 5 to 9, it's a good thing I was born a girl, otherwise I'd be a drag queen.
Well, Vanessa, you've known RuPaul since the 80s. Do you remember your first impression of RuPaul?
My first impression that she was gorgeous as RuPaul, and she really changed the game. I mean, I'm 57 years old. I grew up in New York. I remember losing 5 people from AIDS from my first wedding, which is awful, but back in 1987. So I lived through what struggles transgender people had to go through, the gay community, AIDS, all of those things. So it's amazing to see not only that Ru is an icon, but that Ru reaches a global audience. And even my daughter, who was 8 years old when she first started watching Drag Race, now is in her 20s. All her friends love Ru. And it's not only teenage girls, but it's straight men, it's gay men, it's women, it's worldwide. And Ru has really changed the game for everybody.
Really has. And he allowed me to meet you, so I love him even more. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today, Vanessa, and coming on. RuPaul's Drag Race airs Friday nights at 8 on VH1, followed by RuPaul's Secret Celebrity Drag Race at 9:30. And Vanessa's children's book, Bubble Kisses, is available June 23rd. So look out for that.